So in that last video and also on my webpage, there is a link about one of my grandmas on my biological birth mommy's side, her supposed biological birth mommy. I mentioned how she got forced to reside in a vehicle and that she got drugged and raped by a lower class of peasants than herself. And I dedicated this song to her by Led Zeppelin called No Quarter. The lyrics do remind me of her situation in the vehicle because it does say, close the door, put out the light. Reminds me of her in the vehicle. You know, when you open the door and the light is on. So to close it, to turn it off, like this song is saying when it starts. And it says, you know, they won't be home tonight because before she got put in that vehicle, she's usually residing with others, whether they're blood relatives or not, her biological sons and daughters, fake husband, whoever. So when this song really does say, close the door, put out the light, I just remember her every time in the vehicle. She opens the door, the lights turn on, she shuts it, they go out. Or sometimes, the vehicle does have electronical problems, as it is a motor vehicle, which is illegal also. Everything's supposed to be electronical that long ago. Vehicles are supposed to be flying and floating like boats and more while the roads get repaired. Biblically, that is reminded, and spiritually. Anyways, some of the other lyrics to the song do remind me of her reality situation. This happened late 80s, early 90s. She got put in the vehicle, forced to reside in different vehicles, again, by a lower class of peasants. And she's been residing in the vehicle in real life since then, off and on in different vehicles. And she lies sometimes to certain individuals, and she'll say she's in town, and again, she is a different class of peasant, and what she got turned into isn't her style. Supposedly, she's usually dressed real fancy and French looking, and different whatevs, different levels of fashion and makeup and whatever it is, she would look like a higher class of people, and her level of acting is usually higher, which is something she's relied on as a whore, because she used to get paid, or maybe she still does, to be whoever you want her to be, supposedly. Like, who would ever know her life unless she told you, or unless you were there, and even then. So I encourage her to be more of a prostitute, which means there's no physical contact, but people, whether they're peasants or not, will pay her with whatever they have access to. I mean, again, I brought her a rainbow wig, a fur coat, and rainbow makeup, a dress, and some other things, trying to encourage her to go to the church I volunteer at and go see The Window at 420 West 19th Street in Costa Mesa, California, 92627, biblically speaking, the land of dreams. And then I told her to go deport herself. I only told her to go see The Window and then deport herself because of her situation, being drugged up and raped and forced to reside in a vehicle. She's not really allowed in churches because she is a criminal that has tried to take over. She illegally travels. She would have a fake husband that's presidential or higher, and he'd just pay her to be his whore, which includes perversion she calls marriage. It's, no marriage includes any level of perversion, and that is biblically known. And in all the religions, it's just another form of sin. Anyways, marriage is between two soulmates that qualify to be together, opposite gender, same age, not related, and to make the land of dreams a better place. And when the heavens and earth combine, soulmates really get to experience real marriage. And those that qualify, like, who really cares? To get married, a form of marriage, is to celebrate the land of dreams. For example, whether you're married or not, you can do this. Let's just say there's an event and they're going to go purify the all the water, the ocean, the rainbow falls, and rivers, lakes, ponds, and make sure that it's purified with a purified fall to where you can drink it, like out of a chalice or a cup or whatever, and swim in it, and and you could dress like how I am, I'm bunny. That's a good example of like, let's celebrate saving the animals, let alone, the humans passing through will for sure have the clean water too. And things like that. But if you are married, it would be a reason to both be there at this event. Because if, for example, let's just say I'm married, which I'm not, to my soulmate, obviously, or it wouldn't be a marriage, and we both qualify, whatevs. And once again, no physical contact of perversion at all is included. And let's say, I got a hold of my soulmate and we're doing the event. So I dress like this. They might dress like, a duck, a dinosaur, or, a wizard, whatever they want to dress as, but it'd be a form of dress up. Or, and then after the event, they'd go. And that's a form of marriage. Others could be there too that you're not married to. And to celebrate what you guys are doing. Obviously, making the land of dreams a better place, whether you're married or not. So, that's another story. I'm going to do a freestyle prayer dance to this song that reminds me of my grandma. I call her Emeralds. One of her favorite phrases she says is 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, and that's my days. I mean, she does have some normal characters. She'll laugh like who would ever know if they're really hers. How would I even know? So I'm just got to know some of her characters. I don't really mind, but she belongs disintegrated or in prison or deported. That's what needs to happen. So I have spent time with her. And she's told me stories of when she was a small girl, and I don't know if they're true or not. She said her mother, and she was with her sisters, and there's like a lightning and thunder, and that they were so small that her mother put them in the drawers. Because they're something like, she's told me different stories, stuff like that. I told her she should write them down or electronically document her stories. I told her I do it for free, and she should do it too. But I guess she can't be trusted with technology. People claim you don't really know her. She's being innocent right now, telling you stories when she's a small girl, but she's a peasant, and supposedly she's gonna do something retarded. So I don't know what. I don't know. I was just suggesting it because I'm not her, and I do remember some of her crimes, but I just didn't think of anything like that. People informed me that when you remember her, you'll know that she doesn't want lie detector tests and more to confirm and verify anything. Well, they're required, just like real authorities. So if she's one of them, I just can't believe she's that sickening, because when she does get in a certain character and you don't remember, it's hard to tell. So, I don't know. But this Led Zeppelin song, the lyrics, again, her in a vehicle, forced by rape gang members and scientists and mental health representatives that drugged and raped her. And again, the song, you will hear it eventually say, close the door, put out the light, which is like her residing in that vehicle. And it says, they won't be home tonight because nobody else is going to be there. And if they are, they're all going to be in that vehicle, and it's not a home. And none of her stepping stones are considered a home for her, obviously, unless she has something near her birthplace or at it that is really for her, whether it's her property, her prison, or her museum. Once again, whatever her resources really are. Disintegration, whatever it is. I don't always remember, and when I do, correct me if I'm wrong.
Domino's new loaded tots are here.
Hold on, I have to load the song again.
Mix and match them for $6.99 each.
When I already loaded it. It's like there's hackers. They're so jealous. And you will hear the lyrics. Let me restart the song.
close the door, put out the light. No, they won't be home tonight. The snow falls hard, and don't you know?
Also in Lincoln, Nebraska, she claims it snows there, so that part also reminds me of her. Where it says snow falls hard, don't you know? I got her a porcelain doll that has ice skates on, and it looks like her. I gave it to her. It has her natural hair and eye color and skin tone. So I gave her the glass doll as a reminder. That's part of your identity, a symbol of what you told me it is she's really from Lincoln, Nebraska. Like she said, she was born there in the land of dreams. So that part of the song also describes her. And the devil mops every step. She talks like this. Whenever a criminal that she defends on purpose, she claims that demons and the devil and that Lucifer and anybody else had did that, not them. When it's really the human peasants, the only ones that really did it, including herself. I've been arguing with this class of retarded people off and on my whole life. I'm not going to be really believing what they tell me. So they said they choose the path where no one goes. Well, I think it's supposed to say where no one's supposed to go, because they go there, that many. Like the crowd of Moses is who these people turn into. Lately, she's been looking like Hugh Hefner as her celebrity look-alike. Aside from some actresses she does look like. But her character goes all the way back to Yoshebel, Moses' supposed biological birth mommy. So she is different people. I don't know if she's under hypnotic memorization through psychology to reenact these people, or if sometimes that's really just her also. I don't know entirely, but I just know she is some kind of peasant, and she could unjoin and retire and be a peasant princess. But whatevs, there's lie detector tests that confirm and verify, or the health, or whatevs. Also, I thought it was funny to include the animal mask. Well, not really that. It's not going to sound something to really laugh about. But because she calls some humans animal names, I mean, my name, Rachel, on my birth certificate, it's a Hebrew meaning lamb. That's what that name can mean and does in Hebrew. But she calls everybody an animal name, and I found out why. They're in a cult where they hide behind animal identities. Like, they're that innocent, and they're going to find out where those animals were born, and they're going to go live off their identities and act like they're needed there because animals, some of them, aren't okay on their own because of the war we're in, and they need their resources from biblical doctor geniuses, the advanced medical field, so they can go about their lives also. So you can see them at the grocery store or at the theme park or at church or whatever on their own. They're not retarded. They're much smarter than humans. They get forced to be stupid because of cults and plagues. Anyways, that's another story. I'm going to finish the freestyle prayer dance. In high hopes, her situation gets situated along with everybody else's by real authorities that are in position to do so.
Close the door, put out the light. No, they won't be home tonight. The snow falls hard, and don't you know? The winds of Florida blowing cold. They're wearing steel that's bright as true. They carry together that must get through. This is the land where no one
I got her a matching one of these. I got these as gifts. And I was letting her know it's an invention. And she can plug it into her cell phone. I also like to talk on these style phones. I mean, I was out and about and I'd plug it into my cell phone. And I was, walking down the street before. The rest of the phone was in my purse. So I was down the street like this. And schizophrenics would come up to me and random people tell me, "You're mental. You think that thing works? You need to go to a mental hospital." And it's just a phone. It really does hook up to your cell phone. And these weird people need to mind their own business. As Doris Ann Kelly, also known as D.A. McLean, as I mentioned, she has many nicknames. She would say her level of people, peasants, whatever her class, is to ask questions, not to just assume. So when these people are coming out of nowhere, they're supposedly a lower class than her, as far as that goes. Anyways, I got her one too. I gave her the other one. I don't know if she's ever used it. I'm not trying to have anyone result to me. JCT Pop, Jesus Christ the Prince of Peace. He is known to make things multiply. I had 2 of them. And even though she is a peasant or a retired one or whatever she is, 24/7 intentionally is what she is, I thought it'd be more fun for her in her situation or in general to use the invention. I use it sometimes. It doesn't always work because of hackers, which I've also brought to her attention, and other people claim when I hang out with her that normal, that's not really her. That's just her pretending to be like me, that I don't know anything about her. But what if she is one of those peasants where she only is that character with them only, or certain people? Or is she really trying to be like that with me too? So I don't really care. I was just trying to help her situation that keeps being brought to my attention. I mean, songs like this, how can I forget? And, I shared my wardrobe. I got her, these things may not be, brand new. Some of them I go to thrift shops and, Goodwill and TikTok to get fur coats and stuff. And she talks about a time when she got it, to her, brand new because she had her fake husband with his stolen presidential and higher position. So if she wanted to make believe that's from her account, if she's being an intentional whore and calling it marriage, it's not. It's called stealing. So I gave her gifts that are literally real similar. And then she got offended. She's like, well, you're not my husband. What are you doing? And it's like, okay, I thought she might want to move up in life also and just be a prostitute instead. Even if she did have a fake husband, for him to just give her those things instead of what she does for them is really sickening. It's like she can't wait to be their whore and get in character. It's disgusting. It's not marriage. She tried to convince me that it is. She tries to imply that I'm another kind of either a slut or a whore or something of that nature, because my level of acting in situations. So anyways, it's another story. There's lie detector tests that really are that accurate and confirm and verify whatever it is. So anyways, I don't know who she's going to call. She does make phone calls, and I guess once upon a time when she had more of her memory, which I don't mess with, by the way. It's the people that twist memory deletion, hypnotic twist psychology. They do the same thing to me. Who am I going to call? Don't know. All the time. Don't even always remember. And when I do, it's like they either possess who I'm getting a hold of, or it's them in those positions or wherever it's at, or, supposedly my grandma used to travel and, she got to know, hotel owners in Italy or France or Paris or whatever. And I think even in her situation, it'd be a good idea for her to get a hold of some of these people that might even be her class of people. Maybe they really aren't as high, and even if they're the real ones. In this war we're in, her situation is so disgusting. Now the peasants that put her in the vehicle want to call her a dirty whore when they prevent her from showering. And they took it to a whole nother level. I mean, it is considered to be not clean if you're in any perversion. But now it's like where it's just disgusting what they're doing to her. They try to do it to me too, and other people. They try to control your entire move, and they claim that's what she gets for trying to control theirs. Well, that's not what to do. That's not how to situate a situation. It's disgusting. Anyways, I'm just gonna do that song. in particular has an engraved JCT Pop, Jesus Christ, the Prince of Peace, part of his life from when he was a baby. And, you know, the three wise men in that story, when they supposedly brought him a percent of his resources, you know, gold, diamonds, and crowns and whatnot, and expected him even as a baby, because he is part of God, part king. He is a high prince, though. He is part human, and he got disabled to do so, to make multiply what was being brought to him, which is what the three wise men are believing. If it's really him, that's what he's going to do. And that supposedly didn't happen in some of the versions that I've read and seen in films. Anyways, this star is supposed to represent showing you the way. Some call it the wishing star. Some call it Twinkle Little Star, like that song. And supposedly it directed the three wise men to find JCT Pop, Jesus Christ, the Prince of Peace, when he was a baby, to supposedly give him his resources so he can go about his own identity and they can go about theirs. But it didn't happen that way. And I got another cross similar, but the star is much smaller, see it at the top. So it's like they go together. It kind of shows, like, you know, like the arrival and the journey. It's like two versions of the story. One's really a reminder of the way, what way to go, and how to get there, even if it doesn't happen the way it's supposed to. At least you did go on the right path in the right direction. Like anything can happen sometimes. You just want to expect it to be what it's supposed to be. Kind of like when I go to some churches or certain places, I went the right way, but the people that aren't supposed to be there didn't. So, you know, they want to justify that's their problem, that's their sentence, that's their crime, not mine. And then, you know, this one is just showing more, instead of just knowing which way to go, it is now showing the different things that can happen even if they're not correct. Like when the three wise men didn't get their resources through the baby that is a high prince, that they supposedly brought a percent of his. So that's somewhat that story. I'm going to go back to the song now.
Side by side with them. Devil mocks at every step. Snow drives by the foot that's slow. Dogs of doom are howling more. They carry news that must get through. To feel the pain for me and you. side with them. Devil mocks their every step. Snow drives back the foot that's slow. Dogs of doom are howling more. The carry news that must get through. The bill is paid for me and you.
So I showed both the different kinds of phones, shell phone, and then stepping stone or property phone, which can also attach to a cellular phone. Anyways, I think I contact mermaids easier and better as far as victims go to get a hold of the right individuals. I know the mermaids get my messages and they exist along with other creatures, like Ganji fairies. For example, when I was a little girl, I usually, hung out with creatures and Ganji fairies on my own time. And in the early 90s, I got forced to hang out with some of the other supposed little girls or little boys or whatever. They pretend they're like me. I find out later they happen to be in cults of perversion and all kinds of things. But some of them, when they were with me, they did act normal. One of my ex-friends, we'd always laugh. So I assume she knows the Ganji fairies are like right here. And they have like tea pipes, like a level of marijuana. And they'd make us laugh. Now, I could see them visibly. They'd be floating right by us. And she'd be laughing also. So I assumed she could see them. And then when we were teenagers, years later, because that was in the early 90s, so in the 2000s, she got me a giant poster of an actual Ganji fairy. So I was thinking, then she probably sees them too, because the poster she got me looks just like them, only dressed up a little differently. But as far as they looked, it really looked like the ones that I see, and from when we were little. Anyways, I cut her off a long time ago from my life, but occasionally we get forced to hang out together. So I just try to be myself, and she'd pretend she's like me, but then I found out she's only pretending if she was still innocent, that she really is in some weird cults, that she was really just pretending. I mean, I knew she wasn't as high class as me, but I didn't know she was that low. Is what I found out later, that she was much lower than I imagined, and I didn't know that about her, or maybe something happened. Anyways, I'm better at pretending, all the victims are, so I really don't care. And then people like her want to seek revenge. Like, it's not my job to care, unless there's something I can do. I could pray, that's a form of caring, like PRAY, like I was just doing a moment ago about my supposed grandma, because of people like her, even that situation's happening. So the individual I just mentioned, she knows who she is, and she was getting raped by her biological birth daddy and her stepdad. She'd dress up like her mom for him. She claims that's what she does when I'm not there. And that's disgusting. I mean, if she's willingly doing it, then she needs to go to prison or get disintegrated or deported or disintegration date. And either way, her biological birth daddy and the stepdad, the fake stepdad, need to get disintegrated for raping her. And for her to do it for fun is a form of guilt. So, the lie detector test will confirm and verify she probably belongs disintegrated also, or in a prison, or deported, or whatever it is. And it's not my problem. I can't relate to that. But I remember I'd hang out with her, and we'd go sell lemonade or go in the trees and jump out of them. And I'd I do cartwheeling and stuff on my own time, and jump rope and hula hoop and all that stuff. And then I'd find out that the people, like her biological birth daddy, can't stand my purity. He wants her to bring other people, little girls she hangs out with, that they do, sick things together, like sexually, where the dad does it too. So I'm just like, that's like my daughter's dad. He's the same kind of sicko, only he's worse than her dad. And her stepdad, he's worse than both of them. It's just disgusting. And they're the ones that are for my daughter's situation just because I did report them. It's like, oh, mind your own business about her. And then look where your daughter is. They know what her dad is, that he's sicker than them. And they think it's funny that they want to make me look like some kind of sicko when I'm not. And her dad would do that to her mom, even though her mom's not allowed to have her because she's a different class of peasant than the dad, supposedly higher class than him. And he tried to convince me, oh, no, you don't know her mom. She's a sicko. She's a slut. Well, you know what? That gives him no right to be with the daughter. Like, come on, is this guy really trying to justify his situation? Regardless of who the mom is, what is he doing? Yeah, there's orphanages, or even I could have taken Candace in at the time. And, so that's why a lot of people thought I was older when I was a little girl. Like, what, is that a woman? What's wrong with her? Why doesn't she just be like the other little girls around here and be a pervert? That's not what little girls do. Little girls are the same thing as a woman. Only a woman's full grown. A little girl full grown. So if you're a little girl and you're jump roping and whatever, you go in the medical field around age 2, you're an authority, you're everything like Barbie. And then when you're a woman, you continue doing it. Duh. It has nothing to do with being any perversion. So, and then now that I'm a woman, now these same people that accuse me of being a woman as a little girl are saying, what, Rachel, now that you're a full-grown little girl and you're a woman, you think you're a little girl again or something? It's like these people are insane. They are retarded. For physical contact that happens to be illegal, and they force it on people like me and other victims and animals to make us look like them, the victims. They'll even do it on recording and say, oh, well, even though you're innocent, we got the footage. Well, there's lie detector tests to confirm and verify I'm not their class of people and they're not mine, and that they want to go out of the way to make others look guilty when they're not. That's another crime for them. They justify. So, these people are disgusting. I really believe they probably do belong disintegrated, for at least some of the ones I'm aware of. And again, there's lie detector tests to confirm and verify, even ones I haven't mentioned. Everyone needs their resources.